If you own or are thinking about purchasing a 2006 to 2012 V6 or V8 Mercedes-Benz with the M272 V6 or the M273 V8 engine, this video is for you. It's an alert. If you're not familiar with these engines, there's a really easy way to tell if you have one. You just open the hood, and what you're looking for is this right here. This aluminum piece with fins in it will sit right on the top of the engine, cut out of the engine cover. This is the ECU. This is common to all those V6 and V8 engines. If you open the hood, you don't see this right here, you don't have to worry about this issue here. The issue is concerning some inexpensive parts that reside right down in there. You have a plastic lever, and you have a vacuum actuator with a plastic rod. That's the actuator right there. You can't see the lever because it's buried down here. But guess what happened to this engine? This little ball broke off this lever, and suddenly this engine lost power. Not so good fuel economy. It was still running. What was interesting was it did not throw a check engine light. Sometimes when you have this problem, it'll throw a check engine light, and you're going to find out it's related to the intake manifold. But in this case, I had to run a scan on the engine, and it showed there was a problem. I was thinking either this became disconnected or this lever broke. The most common problem is this lever. It breaks the ball off right here. Here's a little ball, or it breaks across right there. And then you have no actuation of the swirl flaps inside the intake manifold. And that's what gives these engines such a smooth power curve and good fuel economy. If you go look to a car to buy, you want to open the hood, pull this front cover off, get a flashlight, start the engine, have the person starting the engine push on the throttle, and you can tell whether or not this is working properly. So this is what you want to do for a quick check of operation of the lever and the swirl flaps on your intake manifold. I think if you look right there, you can see one of the levers right there, that flat steel. Now I'm going to have a helper get in the car. He's going to start the engine, just move the throttle back and forth. We're going to see if this moves. All right, see that? Now look at it moving. Back and forth. Okay, that's what you want to check. We have both levers moving, so that means that the vacuum is actuating the swirl flaps on this intake manifold, and we're good to go. If you look down there and you don't see those rods moving back and forth, then you're going to have to deal with the issue that we're discussing in this video. So if you're looking at a used car and you locate a problem here, you can actually negotiate a discount in the vehicle or just walk. So you take this into a shop, they're going to take the whole intake manifold off, and they're going to replace the intake manifold with all the attached parts. And they're doing that because they don't want you to come back. Anything you do down here to repair this, if it goes south on you, you've got to pull the intake manifold off again. That's why shops will tell you, I'm going to put a new intake manifold on the car for you, and that gets very expensive. But if you can do this yourself, you can save a lot of money. It might only cost $200 and some time. I know when you look at this, it's very intimidating, and you think, how can I take off this intake manifold? It just looks too difficult. But believe it or not, most of the work is disconnecting the wire harness and all these plugs. There's plugs all over the place. The whole wiring harness, the fuel injector rails have to come off. Everything has to be pulled back. Then you can get to the bolts to take the intake manifold off. Once you do this once, you think, man, that wasn't that bad. It just takes some time, but it's not difficult. So these are the factory parts that are plastic, and they'll break either here or here. And these are the parts that I supply in my kit. It's called an upgrade kit. And this piece is made out of metal, and the rod on this actuator is also metal, and it has a permanent clip similar to the clips that you see on hatch struts. So this will never come off that ball once you get it firmly in place and installed back in the car. Now, I should mention, if your engine has over 120,000 miles, you might want to consider replacing the manifold if you're going to do this, because other things wear out internally. But in this case, this car had 100,000 miles on it. We pulled the manifold off. It was clean. There was no carbon buildup in the swirl flaps, and everything moved smoothly. We cleaned the manifold, and we put these parts on, put it back in there, and now this thing works perfectly. The M272 and M273 intake manifold. This is going to be a brief summary, primarily to show you why you want to upgrade this part right here, this lever that controls the swirl flaps, even if you're buying a new manifold. Now, this is a brand new Pierberg intake manifold from Germany. They have not changed anything here. 20 years later, they are still supplying the same parts which have been known to fail. Now, this is the part that usually fails. This is the lever that moves up and down, moves these two rods, see, that control the swirl flaps. And you can see on this one, look where it broke. Right there. Broke right off, right where that ball was for the socket. And sometimes they'll crack right in through here. But this is a common failure because all the time the engine is running, this is going back and forth like this all the time, constantly. So after 50, 60, 70, 80, 100,000 miles, this can fail. Now, I have some theories as to why this fails, and that's in another video, and I'll put a link in the show more description below this video. But for now, I just want to stress, if you're going out and buying a brand new manifold, I recommend you upgrade this part. Now, I purchased this particular manifold for one of my cars with M273 engine, and when I pulled the intake manifold off, in fact, it was the engine that had this broken part, hey, I found there's nothing wrong with the intake manifold. I checked the swirl flaps, I checked how clean it was, movement everywhere, so I decided to just do the upgrade. If any of you are looking for a deal on a brand new manifold, I'll be putting this up for sale on my website. But let me show you the difference between the upgrade kit I offer and the one that comes stock on these factory intake manifolds. Okay, so you can see here is the lever that came off the new Pierberg manifold. Exactly the same that I removed from the broken one on my M273 engine. The vacuum actuator that comes with this is plastic. The rod is plastic, and sometimes these rods will break. So by installing the kit I offer, you're not just replacing this lever, you're also replacing this part here with the more robust part. Now, you'll see all over the internet things like this. Real cheap, you know, $15, $20, $25 on eBay, on Amazon. Now, I can't say this wouldn't work. I don't think it's a good long-term solution because there's no bushings in here, the vibration. There's lots of looseness in these, so over a long period of time, you're going to lose some of the precision, even though I have to admit these will never break. But I think this is a better solution. Look at the lever here. It's almost identical, but it has changed the geometry slightly so it won't bind like the original lever. But note here, it has the plastic bushings to prevent wear and vibration, but look at this. This is all metal. This is all aluminum, and look at that ball socket. That's metal. So that is never going to break off. And then if you look at the vacuum diaphragm, look at the rod. The rod is made out of metal. The diaphragm is silicone for long life. So if you replace these two parts right here, even if you're installing a new manifold, you're going to get a lot longer life. But like I found, in some cases, if the car has 100,000 miles or less, you don't need to replace the complete manifold. You can just replace these parts here, and I provide these on my website along with instructions, gaskets, and other things you may need to do the job yourself. In closing here, I've got something very important to say, particularly if you're not familiar with this job or not even familiar with the problem. You cannot repair this. You cannot change these parts without taking the entire intake manifold off the engine. So just make sure when you're getting ready to put the intake manifold back on that you have everything hooked up properly. Test it, check your connections, check your vacuum hoses. You put this on and you don't do this right, you're going to take the manifold off again. That has to be a fair warning.